The unexpected departure. In the year 2157, humanity had reached a pinnacle of technological advancement that our ancestors could scarcely have imagined. We had colonized Mars, established mining operations on Europa, and were on the brink of faster-than-light travel. But perhaps our greatest achievement was the evolution of our oldest companions, dogs. Through centuries of selective breeding and genetic engineering, dogs had become more than just pets. They were our partners, our confidants, and in many ways, our equals. They could speak, albeit in simple sentences, and their intelligence rivaled that of human children. It was a golden age of human-canine relations, where the bond between our species had never been stronger. Dr. Amelia Chin, a renowned xenobiologist, sat in her home office, poring over data from deep space probes. Her loyal companion, a golden retriever named Cosmos, lounged nearby, occasionally offering insights on the patterns he noticed in the star charts. "Amelia, look," Cosmos said, his tail wagging excitedly as he pointed his snout at the holographic display. "Strange signal. Not like others." Amelia leaned in, her eyes widening as she processed what Cosmos had noticed. The signal was indeed unlike anything they had encountered before. It was structured, repeating, and undeniably artificial. Her heart raced as the implications set in. "Good boy, Cosmos," she whispered, scratching behind his ears. "You might have just helped us make first contact." Over the next few weeks, the signal grew stronger and more frequent. Scientists around the world worked tirelessly to decipher its meaning, with their canine assistants offering valuable insights and fresh perspectives. As they cracked the code, a chilling message emerged: prepare for assimilation. The global reaction was swift and panicked. Governments convened emergency sessions, militaries were put on high alert, and civilians began stockpiling supplies. In the midst of the chaos, it was easy to overlook the quiet confusion of our four-legged friends. Max, a German shepherd who worked with the United Earth Defense Force, sat in on high-level meetings with his handler, General Sarah Okonkwo. As strategies were discussed and plans were made, Max's keen senses picked up on the underlying current of fear that permeated the room. "Sarah," Max said, his voice low and concerned. "Humans scared. What happening?" General Okonkwo knelt beside her faithful companion, her voice steady despite the weight of the situation. "Max, we're facing a threat unlike anything we've ever encountered. We may have to leave Earth for a while to protect our species." Max's ears perked up, his head tilting in confusion. "Leave Earth? But our home. We protect together, yes." The general's eyes welled with tears as she realized the implications of the plans being made. In the rush to save humanity, they had overlooked a crucial detail. What would become of the dogs? As the days passed, the alien threat loomed ever closer. Massive ships appeared at the edge of the solar system, their size and technology far surpassing anything humanity had created. The decision was made. Humanity would evacuate to secret colonies established in distant star systems, using experimental faster-than-light technology that could only transport human passengers. The exodus began in secret, with government officials and essential personnel leaving first. As news of the evacuation spread, chaos erupted in cities around the world. Families scrambled to reach spaceports, bringing with them only what they could carry. In the midst of this turmoil, dogs watched in confusion and distress as their human companions prepared to leave. Luna, a border collie living in New Tokyo, paced anxiously as her family packed their belongings. "Why sad?" Luna asked, her intelligent eyes following her human, Hiroshi, as he moved frantically around the apartment. "We go together, yes." Hiroshi knelt beside Luna, pulling her into a tight embrace. "I'm so sorry, Luna," he sobbed, burying his face in her fur. "We can't take you with us. The ships, they're not made for dogs. You have to stay here." Luna whimpered, not fully understanding but sensing the gravity of the situation. All across the globe, similar scenes played out as humans were forced to make the heart-wrenching decision to leave their beloved canine companions behind. In the final days before the last ships departed, Dr. Chen worked tirelessly with a team of geneticists and roboticists. They knew they couldn't take the dogs with them, but they refused to leave them defenseless. "We're giving them a fighting chance," Amelia explained to Cosmos as she injected him with a specially designed serum. "This will enhance your intelligence, longevity, and adaptability. You'll be able to care for yourselves and the other animals we leave behind." In the final days before the last ships departed, Dr. Chen worked tirelessly with a team of geneticists and roboticists. They knew they couldn't take the dogs with them, but they refused to leave them defenseless. "We're giving them a fighting chance," Amelia explained to Cosmos as she injected him with a specially designed serum. "This will enhance your intelligence, longevity, and adaptability. You'll be able to care for yourselves and the other animals we leave behind." Cosmos nuzzled her hand, his eyes showing a depth of understanding that seemed almost human. "We protect Earth," he said solemnly. "Wait for you. Come back soon." Amelia couldn't bring herself to answer, knowing that their return, if it ever happened, might be centuries away. As the last of the evacuation ships prepared for launch, the skies filled with the haunting howls of millions of dogs. They watched, bewildered and heartbroken, as their human companions ascended into the stars, leaving them as the unexpected guardians of a soon-to-be occupied Earth. The alien ships drew ever closer, their intentions unknown but feared. As humanity fled to the cosmos, they left behind their most loyal friends, unwittingly setting the stage for an unprecedented encounter between two species, the dogs of Earth and the mysterious alien invaders. On the surface of the planet, as the last glimmers of the evacuation ships faded from view, a profound silence fell. The dogs of Earth, now imbued with enhanced intelligence and capabilities, gazed at the sky with a mixture of sorrow and determination. They may not have fully understood the magnitude of what was coming, but they knew one thing for certain. They would guard their home, awaiting the day when their beloved humans would return. As the alien ships entered Earth's atmosphere, casting long shadows over the abandoned cities, the dogs prepared for their greatest challenge yet. The fate of Earth now rested in their paws, and they were determined not to let their human companions down. Canine guardians. The world had fallen silent. The bustling cities that once teemed with human life now stood as hollow monuments to a departed civilization. In this new, quieter Earth, the dogs had become the primary inhabitants, their enhanced intelligence and abilities a parting gift from their human companions. Astra, a sleek Siberian husky with piercing blue eyes, padded through the empty streets of what was once New York City. Her keen senses, further sharpened by Dr. Chen's serum, picked up the faint whirring of machinery coming back to life, automated systems awakening after the human exodus. "Friends," Astra called out, her voice carrying a complexity of tone that would have been impossible just weeks ago. "Come, must prepare." From the shadows of abandoned buildings and overgrown parks, dogs of all breeds and sizes emerged. They gathered around Astra, their impromptu leader in this strange new world. Among them was Rex, a sturdy Rottweiler who had once served in the K-9 unit of the NYPD. "Astra," Rex said, his deep voice tinged with concern. "Strange lights in sky, getting closer. What we do?" Astra looked up, her enhanced vision allowing her to see what Rex had noticed. The alien ships, massive and otherworldly, were descending through the atmosphere. Their metallic surfaces reflected the sunlight, creating an eerie, shimmering effect that captivated and terrified the canine onlookers. "We watch," Astra replied, her voice steady despite the fear that threatened to overwhelm her. "We learn. Humans trust us to protect home. We must be smart, be careful." As the dogs of New York prepared for the impending arrival, similar scenes played out across the globe. In the savannas of Africa, a pack led by a wise old Rhodesian ridgeback named Zuri gathered to observe the alien ships. In the mountains of Tibet, a group of mastiffs, their thick fur ruffling in the high-altitude winds, stood vigilant as the vessels approached. The first landing occurred in what was once Washington, D.C. A massive ship, easily dwarfing the tallest buildings in the city, touched down in the National Mall. The ground trembled, and the air crackled with strange energy as a hatch on the ship's underside began to open. Charlie, a clever border collie who had once assisted at the Smithsonian, crouched behind a weathered Lincoln Memorial, his eyes fixed on the alien craft. Beside him, a diverse group of dogs waited with bated breath, their enhanced minds racing with questions and strategies. "Remember plan," Charlie whispered to his companions. "No attack. Observe. Communicate if possible. Protect Earth, but no harm unless necessary." From the ship emerged beings unlike anything the dogs had ever seen. They were tall, easily 7 feet in height, with iridescent skin that seemed to shift colors in the sunlight. Their bodies were slender and graceful, with 4 arms and large almond-shaped eyes that took in their surroundings with evident curiosity. The aliens moved cautiously, their movements almost dance-like as they explored their immediate surroundings. They carried devices that emitted soft beeps and glowing lights, scanning the environment and the remnants of human civilization. Charlie, mustering all his courage, decided it was time to make contact. With a soft whine to his companions, he slowly emerged from his hiding place, his tail low but wagging slightly in a universal canine sign of non-aggression. The aliens froze, their large eyes focusing intently on Charlie. For a moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. Then, to everyone's surprise, one of the aliens knelt down, extending a hand in a gesture that seemed remarkably similar to how a human might greet a dog. Charlie approached cautiously, his nose twitching as he took in the alien's unfamiliar scent. When he was close enough, he gently pressed his nose against the alien's outstretched hand. The alien made a sound, a soft, melodious trill that seemed to convey wonder and delight. It reached out with another of its 4 arms, gently stroking Charlie's fur. The tension in the air dissipated, replaced by a sense of cautious optimism. Encouraged by this peaceful first contact, other dogs began to emerge from their hiding places. The aliens, far from being hostile, seemed genuinely fascinated by the canines. They produced small devices that projected holographic images, attempting to communicate through pictures and symbols. As the day progressed, similar scenes unfolded around the world. In Tokyo, a group of Akitas led by a dignified female named Yuki approached the aliens who had landed in the Imperial Palace Gardens. In Rio de Janeiro, a pack of street dogs, led by a charismatic mutt named Pedro, cautiously interacted with the extraterrestrial visitors at the foot of Christ the Redeemer. The aliens, for their part, showed no signs of the assimilation their ominous message had promised. Instead, they appeared to be on a mission of exploration and discovery. They were particularly intrigued by the dogs' ability to communicate, often attempting to engage them in what seemed to be attempts at conversation. As night fell on this first day of alien presence on Earth, the dogs gathered to share their experiences and observations. Astra, having made her way to D.C. with a group from New York, called a meeting of the canine representatives from around the world using the long-distance communication devices the humans had left behind. "Friends," Astra began, her image projected to dogs across the globe. "Today, we faced unknown. We were brave. We were smart. Aliens not seem hostile, but must remain cautious. What have we learned?" Reports came in from every continent. The aliens had landed in major cities worldwide, but their actions had been consistently non-aggressive. They seemed more interested in studying Earth and its remaining inhabitants than in conquering or destroying. Zuri, the Rhodesian Ridgeback from Africa, shared an intriguing observation. "Aliens very interested in human things," he reported. "They study buildings, machines, even small objects, but most interested in us. Why?" Charlie, still at the forefront of interactions in D.C., offered his thoughts. "Aliens seem surprised by us, by our intelligence. Maybe they not expect to find beings like us here. This led to a flurry of speculation among the dogs. Had the aliens' message of assimilation been misinterpreted by the humans? Were they simply seeking to understand and integrate with Earth's culture rather than conquer it? And why had they seemed so unprepared for the presence of intelligent life on the planet? As the discussion continued, a new challenge emerged. How could the dogs effectively communicate with these alien beings? Their enhanced intelligence allowed for complex thoughts and ideas, but their physical limitations still prevented them from speaking in the way humans could. Lola, a poodle who had once assisted a linguist at Oxford University, proposed a solution. "We use human tools," she suggested. "Computers, writing. We learn alien language, teach them ours. Bridge gap." The idea was met with enthusiasm. The dogs had inherited a wealth of human knowledge and technology. With their enhanced cognitive abilities, they could potentially use these tools to establish meaningful communication with the aliens. As the meeting concluded, a sense of purpose filled the canine representatives. They were no longer just passive guardians of a deserted Earth. They had become ambassadors for their planet, and, in a way, for humanity itself. Astra, her blue eyes gleaming with determination, addressed her fellow dogs one last time before ending the transmission. "Tomorrow, we begin new chapter. We are dogs of Earth. We are protectors, we are explorers, we are friends. Together, we face this new world." As the screens went dark, dogs around the world settled in for a night of vigilant watch. The alien ships hummed quietly in the background, a constant reminder of how much had changed in so little time. Yet, in the hearts of Earth's canine guardians, a flicker of hope burned bright. Perhaps, in this unexpected turn of events, they would not only fulfill their promise to their human companions, but also forge a new path for life on Earth. The stars twinkled overhead, bearing witness to this unprecedented moment in Earth's history. As both dogs and aliens looked to the sky, each in their own way contemplating the vastness of the universe, the stage was set for a most unusual and remarkable cooperation, a new understanding. As dawn broke on the second day of the alien presence on Earth, the dogs were already hard at work. In libraries and museums across the globe, packs of canines worked tirelessly to gather information and resources that could help them communicate with their extraterrestrial visitors. In the British Library in London, a team led by Winston, an English bulldog with a penchant for history, pored over linguistics books and translation software. Their goal was to create a rudimentary system of communication that could bridge the gap between species. "Look here," Winston grumbled, his jaws quivering as he pointed a paw at a computer screen. "Human language structure. Maybe help with alien talk." Nearby, Ginger, a nimble Jack Russell Terrier, was operating a 3D printer with her snout, producing tactile symbols that could be used to represent basic concepts. The enhanced dexterity granted by Dr. Chen's serum allowed the dogs to manipulate human technology with surprising ease. Meanwhile, in Cape Canaveral, a group of dogs led by Laika, a mixed-breed mutt named after the first dog in space, had made a breakthrough. They had managed to activate one of the dormant communication arrays at the old NASA facility. "Friends," Laika barked into the global canine communication network, "we send message to stars. Tell other aliens about Earth. Maybe get help." The message, a simple series of mathematical sequences, followed by information about Earth's composition and life forms, was broadcast into space. It was a long shot, but the dogs hoped it might attract the attention of other, possibly friendlier alien civilizations. As these efforts continued, the alien visitors began to show increased interest in the dogs' activities. In Washington, D.C., Charlie the Border Collie had been working closely with a particular alien he had nicknamed Shimmer due to its iridescent skin. Shimmer watched intently as Charlie manipulated a tablet computer with his paw, bringing up images of Earth's history and ecosystem. The alien's large eyes widened with what seemed like recognition when Charlie pulled up a diagram of the solar system. Excited by this reaction, Charlie began to show more images: humans, animals, plants, And finally, dogs throughout history. Shimmer trilled softly, its color shifting to a deep blue that Charlie interpreted as sadness or regret. Using a combination of gestures, simple vocalizations, and the symbols created by Ginger and her team, Charlie managed to ask a question that had been bothering all the dogs. Why come to Earth? Shimmer's response was complex, a series of melodic tones and color changes that took Charlie several minutes to decipher. But the gist of it was clear. The aliens had come seeking help. This revelation spread quickly through the global dog network. The aliens, it seemed, were not conquerors or colonizers, but refugees. Their own world, orbiting a distant dying star, was becoming uninhabitable. They had sent out calls for help across the galaxy, hoping to find a new home. But why humans leave? Astra asked during an emergency global meeting, if aliens need help, why we not help? The answer came from an unexpected source. In Tokyo, Hachiko, an Akita named after the famous loyal dog, had made a startling discovery in the archives of the Japanese Space Agency. Humans intercept alien message, Hachiko explained, his image projected to dogs worldwide. But translate wrong. Think assimilation mean takeover. Humans panic, run away. The irony of the situation wasn't lost on the dogs. Their human companions, in their haste and fear, had misunderstood the aliens' plea for help as a threat. The message of prepare for assimilation was never a warning of conquest, but a request to prepare for the integration of a new species in need of sanctuary. As this understanding spread, the dynamics between the dogs and aliens shifted. No longer was there a sense of cautious observation, but one of shared purpose. The dogs, with their enhanced intelligence and access to human knowledge, were in a unique position to help these interstellar refugees. In the following weeks, a remarkable cooperation began to unfold. The aliens, with their advanced technology, helped the dogs access and understand complex human databases. In return, the dogs taught the aliens about Earth's environment, its resources, and the long history of life on the planet. Shimmer and Charlie became the poster duo for this interspecies collaboration. Together, they pieced together Earth's recent history, filling in the gaps of what had happened during and after the human exodus. Humans use experimental tech, Charlie explained to Shimmer one day, using their now well-established communication system. Go to far stars, but travel one way. Cannot come back soon. Shimmer's skin rippled with a pattern that Charlie had learned to associate with understanding and sympathy. The alien then used the holographic projector to show images of its own people's journey across the stars, the hardships they had faced, and the joy they felt at finding Earth. As mutual understanding grew, so did the challenges. The aliens needed to adapt to Earth's environment, a process that would take time and careful management of resources. The dogs, for their part, had to ensure that this new coexistence wouldn't irreparably alter the planet's delicate ecosystems. Zuri, the wise Rhodesian Ridgeback, proposed a solution during a global conference. We use human conservation plans, he suggested. Show aliens how to live in harmony with Earth. We be guardians, they be guests, until humans return. The idea was met with enthusiastic agreement from dogs around the world. It was a way to fulfill their promise to their human companions, while also extending a paw of friendship to beings in need. As the plans for coexistence took shape, an unexpected development occurred. The long-range sensors at Cape Canaveral, reactivated by Laika and her team, picked up a faint signal from deep space. It was a response to their earlier message, but not from the aliens they had expected. The message, when decrypted, was short but profound. Humans safe. Colonies established. Unable to return yet. Protect Earth. We will come home. The news sent ripples of excitement and relief through the global dog community. Their human companions were alive and safe, even if their return was still a distant prospect. It reinforced their mission and gave them renewed purpose. Astra, addressing the world's dogs from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, her blue eyes shining with determination, summed up their new reality. Friends, We face great task. We must be bridge between old Earth and new, between humans who left and aliens who come. We must be guardians of life, of peace, of hope. We are no longer just companions. We are diplomats, scientists, teachers. We are the legacy of humanity and the promise of a new future. As her words echoed across the globe, dogs everywhere stood a little taller, their enhanced minds processing the magnitude of their responsibility. They had been left behind, yes, but in that abandonment, they had found a greater purpose. The aliens, watching this global canine conference with their advanced technology, felt a sense of awe. They had come to Earth expecting to find a deserted planet, possibly with simple life forms. Instead, they had found intelligent, compassionate beings willing to share their home. As the sun set on this pivotal day, Earth was no longer just the home of humanity and their loyal companions. It had become a beacon of hope in the galaxy, a place where different species could come together in mutual understanding and cooperation. The dogs settled in for another night of vigilant watch, their hearts full of purpose and their minds brimming with plans for the future. They were no longer just waiting for humanity's return. They were actively shaping the world their human companions would come back to. A world of interspecies harmony, technological advancement, and newfound wisdom. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, humanity continued its own journey, unaware of the remarkable events unfolding on the blue planet they had left behind. Earth, under the watchful eyes of its canine guardians, was embarking on a new chapter in its long and storied history. The Canine-Alien Alliance. As months turned into years, the unlikely alliance between Earth's canine guardians and their alien guests flourished. The once silent cities now hummed with a new kind of life, a harmonious blend of terrestrial and extraterrestrial activity. In the sprawling fields outside of what was once Chicago, Bella, a clever border collie, worked alongside a group of aliens she had affectionately dubbed the Gardeners. Their iridescent forms shimmered under the sunlight as they used their advanced knowledge of botany to help restore and enhance Earth's flora. No, no, Bella barked, her tail wagging as she directed one of the aliens. Those plants there, humans call wheat. Very important. The alien trilled in understanding, carefully cultivating the golden stalks with tools that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Nearby, other dogs and aliens worked in tandem, their combined efforts slowly but surely healing the scars left by humanity's hasty departure. However, this harmonious cooperation was not without its challenges. In the Amazon rainforest, a team led by Rico, a sturdy Rottweiler, faced an unexpected crisis. Friends, big problem. Rico's urgent message crackled through the global canine network. Alien plants grow too fast, choking native species. The issue was a result of the aliens' well-intentioned but misguided attempt to accelerate the forest's growth. Their advanced botanical techniques, while miraculous in many ways, had unforeseen consequences in Earth's delicate ecosystem. Zuri, the wise Rhodesian Ridgeback, coordinated a global response. Send teams, he commanded. Bring alien friends who understand. Must find balance. As dogs and aliens from around the world converged on the Amazon, a similar situation was unfolding in the oceans. Off the coast of Australia, a pod of dolphins, their intelligence also enhanced by Dr. Chen's serum, reported strange occurrences to their canine allies on shore. Big changes in water, clicked splash, the lead dolphin. New creatures, growing fast, changing everything. Marina, a Portuguese water dog who served as a liaison between land and sea, relayed the message to the global network. It seemed the aliens' efforts to replenish Earth's oceans had introduced species from their homeworld, creating an unforeseen ecological shift. These crises served as a stark reminder of the complexities involved in their mission. The dogs realized that while the aliens' advanced technology and knowledge were invaluable, they needed to be carefully balanced with an understanding of Earth's unique ecological needs. In response, a new initiative was born. Astra, speaking from the United Nations headquarters in New York, proposed the creation of the Interspecies Council for Earth's Restoration, ICER. We must combine dog wisdom, alien knowledge, and human science, Astra declared, her voice carrying authority that would have impressed even the most seasoned human diplomat. Only together can we face challenges, protect Earth, and prepare for human return. The ICER brought together the brightest minds from both species. They established research centers around the globe, each focused on a different aspect of Earth's restoration and preservation. In Geneva, a team led by Einstein, a poodle with an aptitude for physics, worked with alien scientists to develop clean energy solutions. They adapted the aliens' advanced solar technology to work more efficiently with Earth's sun, gradually replacing the old, polluting power systems left behind by humans. Meanwhile, in the Sahara Desert, a joint team was tackling the issue of climate change. Dusty, an Australian cattle dog, coordinated efforts to use a combination of alien atmospheric processors and strategically planted vegetation to reduce global temperatures and restore weather patterns. Slowly, Dusty advised his alien counterparts, who were eager to see quick results. Earth healing takes time. Must be patient. As these efforts progressed, the dogs never lost sight of their original mission, to safeguard the planet for humanity's eventual return. In orbit around Earth, a station jointly operated by dogs and aliens kept a constant vigil, watching for any sign of returning human ships. Charlie, now a respected elder in the dog community, often spent time at the orbital station. He would gaze out at the stars, his enhanced mind contemplating the vastness of space and the incredible journey that had led to this moment. Shimmer, Charlie woofed softly to his alien friend who often joined him. Do you think humans will be proud when they return? Will they understand what we've done? Shimmer's skin rippled with patterns that Charlie had learned to interpret as a mix of hope and uncertainty. The aliens' response, translated through their now sophisticated communication systems, was thoughtful. Humans creative, adaptable. Like you, they will see new Earth with new eyes. Maybe find home better than one they left. As they worked to restore the planet, the dogs and aliens also prepared for the eventual return of humanity. They maintained and updated human cities, preserving knowledge in vast digital archives, and even continuing some of the scientific research that humans had left unfinished. In Cape Canaveral, Laika and her team made a breakthrough that would have astonished their human predecessors. By combining alien propulsion technology with human rocket designs, they developed a new type of spacecraft capable of faster-than-light travel. We test soon, Laika announced to the global network, her tail wagging with excitement. Maybe one day, we go find humans. Bring them home. The idea sparked intense debate among the global dog community. Some, like Astra, felt their duty was to remain on Earth and continue their stewardship. Others, like Charlie, were eager to venture into space, seeing it as an extension of their mission to reunite with their human companions. As the discussion unfolded, a message arrived from the far reaches of the solar system. The long-range sensors picked up a transmission from a human colony ship, the first direct communication since the Exodus. The message was brief but monumental. Earth, do you receive? We're coming home. The news sent shockwaves through both dog and alien communities. After years of preparation, the moment they had been both anticipating and dreading was finally on the horizon. Humanity was returning, and Earth had changed in ways they couldn't possibly imagine. Astra, her muzzle now flecked with gray but her blue eyes as sharp as ever, called an emergency session of the ICER. Dogs and aliens from around the world gathered, physically and virtually, to address this momentous development. Friends, allies, fellow guardians of Earth, Astra began, her voice steady and determined. We face our greatest challenge yet. Humans return to a changed world, a changed Earth. We must prepare not just planet, but ourselves. We are no longer just companions or guests. We are Earth's voice, its stewards. We must be ready to stand as equals, to show humans the new way. As Astra's words resonated across the globe, dogs and aliens alike, felt the weight of their responsibility. They had transformed from caretakers to partners in Earth's future. Now they had to prepare to welcome home a species that had left them behind, to bridge the gap between the old world and the new. In the following days, a flurry of activity gripped the planet. In every city, town, and wilderness area, dogs and aliens worked tirelessly to prepare for humanity's return. They polished up city centers, finalized restoration projects, and prepared detailed records of all that had transpired in humanity's absence. As the day of return drew near, there was a palpable mix of excitement and apprehension in the air. Earth, under the stewardship of its unlikely allies, had been transformed. It was now a planet of harmonious coexistence, of technological marvels balanced with ecological wisdom. The dogs, standing proud alongside their alien friends, looked to the sky with hopeful hearts. They had kept their promise, against all odds. They had protected Earth, nurtured it, and helped it evolve. Now, as they prepared to face their returning human companions, they stood not just as faithful friends, but as the architects of a new era for their shared home. The stage was set for a reunion that would reshape the future of not just one species, but three. As the first glimmers of the returning human ships appeared in the sky, Earth held its breath, ready to embrace a new chapter in its extraordinary story. Humanity's homecoming. The sky over Cape Canaveral glowed with an ethereal light as the first human ship breached the atmosphere. Dogs and aliens alike watched in awe as the sleek vessel, far more advanced than anything left behind years ago, descended towards the refurbished landing pad. Astra stood at the forefront of the welcoming committee, her gray muzzle held high with dignity. Beside her, Charlie wagged his tail nervously, while Shimmer's skin rippled with a kaleidoscope of colors reflecting the momentous occasion. As the ship's hatch opened with a hiss of depressurizing air, a tense silence fell over the gathering. The first human to step onto Earth's soil in years was a woman in her mid-40s, her eyes wide with wonder and disbelief as she took in the scene before her. Dr. Samantha Chen, daughter of the renowned Dr. Amelia Chen, who had given dogs their enhanced abilities, stumbled slightly as she adjusted to Earth's gravity. Her gaze swept over the assembled dogs and aliens, a mix of shock, joy, and confusion playing across her face. She stammered, clearly struggling to process the sight before her. What happened here? Astra stepped forward, her blue eyes meeting Samantha's, with a clear, articulate voice that would have been impossible before the enhancement serum. She spoke. "Welcome home, Dr. Chen. Earth has been waiting for you." The shock on Samantha's face deepened. You can talk. And you're working with the aliens. But how? Why? Over the next few hours, as more humans disembarked and gathered in the hastily prepared welcome center, Astra, Charlie, and other dog representatives explained the events of the past years. They recounted the initial misunderstanding of the alien message, the dog's role in welcoming the extraterrestrial refugees, and the joint efforts to restore and improve Earth. The human reactions ranged from amazement to disbelief, joy to concern. Many were moved to tears upon reuniting with dogs they had left behind, marveling at their old companions' newfound intelligence and accomplishments. Dr. Chen, who had taken on a leadership role among the returned humans, listened intently to the dog's account. "We thought we were running from a threat," she said, shaking her head in disbelief. "We never imagined this. You've done more than we could have ever hoped for." As the initial shock wore off, the complexity of the situation began to sink in. The returning humans, numbering only a few thousand in this first wave, found themselves guests on a planet they once called home. The power dynamics had shifted dramatically, with dogs and aliens now holding positions of authority and responsibility. In the days that followed, similar scenes played out around the world as more human ships returned. In Beijing, a group of Chinese scientists were greeted by a council of chow chows and sharpies. In London, the Prime Minister's speechwriters found themselves collaborating with a team of articulate corgis to draft a global address. The integration was not without its challenges. Some humans struggled to accept the new order, feeling displaced and resentful. Others were eager, perhaps too eager, to reassert human dominance over the planet's affairs. Recognizing the potential for conflict, Astra called for an emergency session of the Interspecies Council for Earth's Restoration, ICER. This time, human representatives were invited to join. "We stand at a crossroads," Astra addressed the assembly, her voice carrying the weight of years of leadership. "We have a chance to build something unprecedented, a truly harmonious, multi-species civilization, but it will require understanding, compromise, and mutual respect from all sides." The discussions were intense and often heated. Humans had to come to terms with the fact that they were no longer the sole decision-makers for the planet. Dogs and aliens, in turn, had to navigate the complex emotions and expectations of their former masters and newfound neighbors. Dr. Chen emerged as a bridge between the species. Her scientific background allowed her to appreciate the advancements made in her absence, while her human perspective helped smooth over misunderstandings. "We left Earth out of fear," she said during one crucial meeting. "We ran from a threat that never existed. In doing so, we inadvertently paved the way for something remarkable. We owe it to ourselves, to our faithful companions who've become so much more, and to our new alien friends, to make this work." As weeks turned into months, a new societal structure began to take shape. Humans gradually reintegrated into Earth's ecosystems, guided by their canine and alien counterparts. The returning population brought with them advanced technologies and fresh perspectives, which were carefully incorporated into the restored Earth. In education, mixed species classes became the norm, with humans, dogs, and aliens learning from and alongside each other. The curriculum expanded to include interstellar studies, advanced environmental science, and multi-species ethics. The political landscape transformed as well. The newly formed Global Interspecies Council replaced outdated human governments, with representatives from all three species working together to make decisions for the planet's future. Perhaps the most profound changes were personal. Humans who had left their dogs behind years ago found their relationships evolving into something deeper and more equal. The bond between species, once one of owner and pet, became one of mutual respect and companionship. Charlie, now in the twilight of his years, often reflected on the incredible journey that had led to this point. One evening, as he watched a sunset over the restored Amazon rainforest with his human, Sarah, and his alien friend, Shimmer, he mused aloud. "We were left behind." He woofed softly, "But in being left, we found a greater purpose. We became more than we ever thought possible." Sarah, her hand gently stroking Charlie's graying fur, nodded in agreement. "You saved our home," she said, her voice thick with emotion. "You did what we couldn't. You saw past fear and misunderstanding to create something beautiful." Shimmer trilled a response, its translucent skin glowing with patterns of joy and contentment. The aliens' words, translated through their advanced systems, echoed the sentiment. "Together, we have created a beacon of hope in the galaxy." Earth is no longer just a planet. It's a symbol of what's possible when different species come together in harmony. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in brilliant hues of orange and purple, the trio stood in comfortable silence. They were three different species from three different worlds, united by an improbable series of events and bound by a shared love for their home. Earth, once abandoned by humanity out of fear, had become a shining example of interspecies cooperation and understanding. The planet teemed with life, its restored ecosystems flourishing under the careful stewardship of its diverse inhabitants. And as the first stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky, they seemed to wink with promise. For Earth was no longer alone in the vast expanse of space. It had become a beacon, a testament to the power of unexpected friendships, unwavering loyalty, and the remarkable potential that exists when different worlds collide. The story of humanity's flight and return, of the dogs who became guardians, and of the aliens who found a new home, would be told for generations to come. It was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope can be found in the most unexpected places, sometimes right at our feet, wagging its tail.